would be technology. I was the CTO, so hopefully it wasn't that some of the time. And interestingly enough, I got more joy from it. I realized at that point, I actually just appreciated having an impact more than I appreciated any act of doing my job. And so I ended up with this really nice reinforcement of, wow, I'm better at my job than I was last month because I'm not just doing what I like or what I feel comfortable doing. And that ended up like a really virtuous cycle. So I've been a little bit of a chameleon. It's interesting, if I meet people from Facebook, they think of me as an engineer. If I meet people from Salesforce, they think of me like a suit, or I don't know, generously, something, the boss. And I'm not any one of those things. I just sort of showed up every day to, to have an impact. And as I said, I gain a ton of joy from it. And the reason I bring it up for the entrepreneurs in the room is I think at every stage of your company, at the beginning, product probably is all that matters, finding your first N, happy customers. As you scale, what you need to be great at changes. And I think having this self-awareness and self-reflection to actually change what you spend your time on is actually, I think, one of the greatest challenges of not having your company sort of get away from you and continuing to be an effective leader at that company.
I would tell you, I think it's something, just so you have it, it's something I have taken and share with my kids, which is like, don't let something you're good at become who you are, right? And I think that is something I've learned from you that I really appreciate, and I think you're doing in the day-to-day. So tell people about Sierra. Why did you and Clay start it? What's the vision? What are you guys up to?
At Sierra, we help companies build customer-facing AI agents. We started on the hypothesis that every company's main digital interface will be an AI agent. And maybe in 20 years ago, your main digital presence was your website, your .com. Remember listing on Yahoo directory was the bee's knees, back in the day.
I do remember that. Yeah. Thank you for
old man.
Yeah, thank you for noticing. Yeah.
And then for a lot of brands, whether it was like your social profile or your mobile app, companies have a lot of different digital touch points today. Our hypothesis, I don't know if you measured it, like what percentage of digital interactions happen on a touch screen now versus a keyboard. It never replaces, but it certainly sort of displaces. Our hypothesis is you fast forward 5 years, the vast majority of digital interactions will happen via an agent. And as a consequence, every company will need their singular agent, not plural, the one that has their brand at the top that represents the whole of their customer experience. And so we've worked with a lot of different companies, from ADT Home Security to SiriusXM, to help them build their primary customer-facing AI agent. A lot of it is AI and it's an agent, but a lot of it is also business. Like, what is the customer experience you're providing? For ADT Home Security, your alarm might be going off, your alarm might be broken. For SiriusXM, someone might want a better price on their plan because their promotional period expired. So it's actually really interesting because just like your website, I don't think most people think of websites as a piece of technology nowadays, right? It's almost just an expression of your brand and your business. That's actually kind of the agents that companies are building on our platform. But I hope, if we're successful, if you run across a branded AI agent in the wild, I hope it's powered by our platform. That's what we're trying to do.
And one of the things that comes up a lot is like, what are the foundation models going to do versus what are the application layer companies going to go do, right? And I think you have probably the most unique vantage point on this, being the chair of OpenAI, as well as building an application layer company. So can you help our founders here think about what is going to belong to them versus the foundation models?
Yeah, I'll say strong opinion loosely held on this. So I think there's really 3 big markets that I see, and I'll end with the one I think is the most exciting. First, you have the foundation models, and Jeff said something similar.